Match analysis of Qualifier 1 of IPL 2025 RCB versus Punjab Kings. The last time RCB were in the top 2 or in the Qualifier 1 was back in 2016, and Punjab Kings, the last time they qualified was 2014. So, two teams that are very, very desperate for their first cup. Both teams are going to come in with a lot of energy, trying to get to that final. If they lose, they still have another shot at the final. But let's analyze who we think is going to come out on top today. So the match is going to happen in Mullanpur, the home of Punjab Kings for a large part of the season. They have had a pretty poor record in Mullanpur, only winning 3 of 9 over the last 2 years. And RCB have played only one game at Mullanpur, and that they've successfully beaten the Punjab Kings this season. It's a relatively low scoring pitch compared to the grounds that they were playing at, both teams were playing at in the last couple of games. An average first inning score of 174, average second inning score of 168, and an average winning score of 180. So 180 is still a pretty high score, but compared to the grounds of Ahmedabad and Lucknow, it's relatively low. Let's break down the game into phases. For those of you new here, we try and to analyze and see who we feel will come out on top. We break the game down into 4 phases and see which team is better equipped at coming out on top in that phase. It's a very subjective analysis. If you disagree or you feel like there's another point to consider, feel free to comment down below. It really helps the algorithm push the video. So I definitely recommend commenting down. The first phase is the power play, overs 1 to 6. Here you need to give yourself a little bit of momentum, but you can't afford to lose many wickets. Obviously, because there's only 2 fielders in the outside the inner circle, you're going to have a lot of scoring opportunities, and you need to maximize that. But at the same time, because there's a lot of help for the spin bowlers and the seam bowlers. Spin bowlers, the off spinner might come in for an over or two because the pitch is a bit slow. But usually here 6 overs has to be bowled by the seam bowlers because they get a lot of swing both off the wicket and off the air. So both players like Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Josh Hazelwood are going to get support on this pitch. Similarly, for Punjab Kings, they're going to have Kyle Jamieson and Arshdeep Singh. So I think they line up pretty interestingly here. They have Arshdeep Singh, who's a bowler who gets swing off the air, and Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who gets a swing off the air. Josh Hazelwood, who gets the swing off the seam, and Kyle Jamieson too. So I feel like both teams balance each other out in terms of their pace bowling. So we'll have to look at their batting to see who comes out on top. You need to be 54 for 1. So who are the players that are going to get you there? Let's look at RCB first. They have Phil Salt and Virat Kohli as their openers, and possibly Mayank Agarwal at 3. It's very clear here that Phil Salt is going to be the one who really takes on the bowlers in the first 6 overs. Virat Kohli will try and play more of an anchor role as he's come to do throughout this season. Usually he strikes at about 120 to 130 in his first 20 to 30 balls and then goes berserk. And it's a tactic that's worked throughout the season for him. Mayank Agarwal is replacing Devdutt Padikkal. He had a pretty good start to the season in the previous game, but I'm not very sure whether he'll be able to follow it up because he's very, very new to the IPL this season. Of course, he's played a lot of games in the IPL before this, but given the fact that it's a change in venue, it's a change in conditions, and they've just played a game yesterday and they have to play a game tomorrow, I don't know how much time RCB have to get used to the conditions. And Mayank Agarwal is joining the team very recently, so I'm not very convinced that Mayank Agarwal will perform tomorrow. On the other hand, Punjab Kings, they have their opening pair is going to be Priyansh Arya and Prabhsimran Singh. Consistency has been something that they found towards the latter half of the season. Priyansh Arya and Prabhsimran Singh, especially Prabhsimran Singh, he's been striking the ball very well over the last few games. He's got 50 after 50. He's been racking up the runs. And I think the form that he's in, he's really going to give RCB bowlers a hard time. Priyansh Arya, I'm not so sure. He's hit well. He's played very, very well. But the inexperience in a big game like this, it might prove to be the weak link that really gets him out. Maybe going for maybe after hitting a couple of boundaries, he goes for a third shot, trying to get 12 of the over or 13 of the over, trying to make it big. He edges the ball and gets caught at slip. That's a very real possibility. So, and probably with Shreyas Iyer at three, who's been batting very well, it does look like there is a slight edge to Punjab with the bat, and then that edge is made up by RCB with the ball. So I think both teams are neck and neck when it comes to the power play. The next phase, after you've scored about 54 to 60, uh, the next phase is over 7 to 10. uh, why would we be considering such a small phase of the game? It's just, 4 overs. It's the most crucial phase, I feel like. The 4 overs, these 4 overs, the fielders go out, and there is a lot of help for the spinners. So what ends up happening is, in a lot of games, uh, what ends up happening, it's a slow pitch, so you end up getting a 48, 49, and you feel the pressure to try and go hard at the ball. Teams lose a lot of wickets in this phase. Why? Because there's still help off the seam for the pace bowlers, and the pitch is slightly slower, so there's a lot of help for the spin bowlers. This is the main wicket taking phase for both teams. Here, Chahal is going to come into use for Punjab Kings, and RCB are going to try and use Suyash Sharma as their wicket taking option. They can and they might bowl an over of Josh Hazelwood here, but I think that will be limited to maybe the seventh or the eighth over. I don't see him going beyond that. If you look at the spin attack, spinners have got the main use in between overs 7 and 14. If we look purely at the spin attack, Punjab Kings look better on paper. Uh, Yuzvendra Chahal with his experience, Harpreet Brar has been bowling very well, exceptionally well, and also the fact that Suya Sharma and Krunal Pandya did get hit against LSG. Yes, it was a pretty flat track, but they were getting hit, so that little bit of a psychological niggle could be there for them. And also, when we compare the spin playing capabilities, Punjab Kings have Josh Inglis and Shreyas Iyer, who've played spin brilliantly well. Even Nail Vadera, for that matter. Three very good hitters of spin. RCB, on the other hand, are going to be very reliant on Virat Kohli and Rajat Patidar. Virat Kohli has been in exceptional form. He's been hitting very well. But Rajat Patidar has not found runs at all this season. Maybe initially he was striking the ball pretty well, but later on in the latter half of the season, he's not been in form. So I wouldn't. So again, I would still give a slight edge to Punjab in this phase, purely because they've played so many games here. They know how to approach this, and they've had time to settle in and get used to the conditions. RCB just played yesterday. They're gonna have to come in and get used to the conditions after playing 2 games in Lucknow, which is a pure batting pitch. Coming in and playing a game at Chandigarh is going to be difficult for RCB. So again, I would give an edge to Punjab here, but a very slight edge. Don't be surprised if RCB comes in with Krunal Pandya and Soya Sharma and they pick up 2-3 wickets in this phase. It's a very real possibility. So now we've analyzed the first 10 overs of the game. The first 10 overs, you cannot afford to lose wickets. Why? Because ideally at the end of 10 overs, you want to score about 78 to 80. That does seem like very less when we compare, to other grounds. But here, the first 10 overs is a lot of help for bowlers. I'm saying it again and again, just to emphasize the fact that this is where a lot of teams have gone wrong. Punjab have gone wrong so many times in the first 10 overs, where they've lost a heap of wickets and they've not been able to recover later on. That's why I'm saying it. So then, first 10 overs, you've got about 80 runs. How do we get to 180? Overs 11 to 14, you start building the momentum, about 40 for 1 in the 4 overs there. Here, your defensive spinners come in. Your defensive, slightly attacking spinners. When I say defensive, I don't mean come in and bowl a tight line like someone like a Sai Kishore does very well. I mean bowlers like Yuzvendra Chahal, your wrist spinners, wicket-taking spinners. Yuzvendra Chahal and Suyash Sharma are going to be the most crucial bowlers here. And the death bowlers have to come in and bowl an over, at least an over here. So you have about 2 overs of a Chahal and or a Surya Sharma, and an over of your death bowler who is either who is Yash Dayal for RCB. So scoring 40 for 2 or 40 for 1 is not going to be very difficult if you have wickets in hand. If you've lost more than 3 wickets in the first 10 overs and you've still got a score of 90, it's going to be very difficult for you to get a score of 180, which is a winning score. So in these 4 overs, what you need to try and do is start to build a momentum, uh, because we've talked about the fact that yeah, there are 2 overs of the attacking spinner and an over of the death bowler. There's one over that you can definitely target here, and you need to get 14 to 15 runs to start building the momentum. Who is going to be that bowler for each team? I think they have to decide for themselves. I feel like it's going to be Krunal Pandya that Punjab Kings target, and Harpreet Brar that RCB target. Ironically, both left arm orthodox spinners. But I feel like that's the only real chance that they have to start targeting bowlers and start building a momentum. Here, RCB and Punjab are very well suited for this. RCB, if Virat Kohli bats to the 10th over, the rest of the game, the edge is purely for RCB. You don't need to, there is no other consideration there. If Virat Kohli gets out within the first 10 overs, it really depends on how well Mayank Agarwal and Rajat Patidar can carry the game to the 13th or 14th over. Why am I saying that in this phase, Rajat Patidar and Mayank Agarwal need to be the main players? At least one of them needs to be on the crease if Virat Kohli is not there, or if he is there. At least one of them need to be on the crease and try and get that 40. Why? Because RCB's 3 players, which is Jitesh Sharma, Tim David, or Liam Livingston, whoever is going to play, and Romario Shepherd are not players who are going to come in and bat for 10 overs, especially on a wicket that's a little bit slow against an attack like Punjab. So you need one of those 2 players or Virat Kohli to bat into the 14th over. If all of them are out and RCB's quote unquote, I won't say tail, but their hitters are exposed early on, they're not going to get to a score of 180. They can easily be bowled out for a score of 160 to 165. We saw this happen with KKR too, where they lost a lot of wickets initially. Again, another team with big hitters, very big hitters, bowled out. Very, very easily bowled out. And Punjab did the same mistake in the first innings. So we've seen the mistakes that teams have made time and again on this pitch. Hopefully, one team executes their plans better on this pitch, and the team that executes that will eventually be the team that comes out on top. The last 6 overs is not a lot to be said. Both teams are very, very even. They have one genuine death bowler. RCB have done relatively better in the death compared to Punjab. But Punjab have Marcus Stoinis, Nehal Vadera, and Shashank Singh, who are incredible batsmen. Jitesh Sharma is coming in the game with a lot of form. Off the bat of a not so great season, in my opinion. Romario Shepherd is a bit inconsistent, and if Liam Livingston is batting, the edge is purely Punjab's in this phase. So overall, I think I would give an edge of about 51-49 to RCB, purely because of Virat Kohli's form. But if Virat Kohli gets out early, I'm very sorry, RCB fans. It's not going to be an easy game forward. The game against LSG, something that's very crucial to note is Jitesh Sharma was supposed to be out thrice. Yeah, maybe the run out on the non-strikers end was a little bit controversial, but the no ball, he was supposed to be out. There was a very easy run out missed by Will O'Rourke. The fielding was terrible from LSG. I think RCB got away with that win. It was definitely LSG's game to lose after Virat Kohli's wicket. But I'm very sorry, RCB fans, if that kind of situation comes again, I don't think Punjab Kings will hand you the victory like LSG did the previous day. So overall, that was the analysis. I think my fantasy picks for today will be Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, Nehal Vadera, Yuzvendra Chahal, and last and finally Arshdeep Singh. These are the 5 players that I feel you should definitely pick. You can't get a team without them. That was the analysis. I hope you